Today we will listen to the summary of Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson, provided by BrainUp. Let's dive in and explore the main ideas of this book together. Have you ever felt like you're talking to a wall, or that no matter how clearly you explain something, the other person just doesn't get it? Thomas Erikson suggests that you're not surrounded by idiots, you're just surrounded by people who are different from you. The central idea of this book is that we can drastically improve our communication and relationships by understanding 4 basic personality types. Erikson uses a simple and memorable color-coded system, red, yellow, green, and blue, to help us recognize these different behavioral patterns in ourselves and others. By learning to identify these colors, we can adapt our own communication style to connect more effectively with everyone, whether it's our boss, our partner, or the barista at our favorite coffee shop. It's a practical guide to decoding human behavior and making our interactions smoother and more successful. In the first part of the book, the author introduces the fundamental concept that drives his entire system, the idea that people are not intentionally difficult. They simply operate from a different set of motivations and perspectives. He explains that the feeling of being surrounded by idiots arises from a failure to recognize these differences. To solve this, he introduces the DISC model, a well-established behavioral assessment tool, but he simplifies it for the everyday reader by assigning colors to each personality type. This framework is not about putting people in boxes, but rather about providing a language to understand predictable patterns in human behavior. Erikson lays the groundwork by explaining that everyone is a mixture of all 4 colors, but 1 or 2 colors tend to dominate our personality. The system is built on 2 primary axes, one measuring whether a person is more introverted or extroverted, and the other measuring if they are more task-oriented or relationship-oriented. This simple grid gives us 4 distinct quadrants, each representing a color. The goal, he stresses, is not to judge or label people, but to gain a powerful tool for empathy and effective communication. By understanding someone's dominant color, we can anticipate their reactions, understand their priorities, and tailor our message in a way they are more likely to hear and accept. This initial setup invites the reader to start thinking about their own colleagues and family members, trying to guess which color they might be, turning the book into an interactive and personal journey of discovery. As we move into the description of the colors, the author starts with the vibrant and powerful red personality. Reds are the ambitious, results-driven leaders of the world. They are extroverted and task-oriented, meaning they are fueled by challenge and focused on getting things done quickly and efficiently. A red personality walks into a room with a purpose. They are direct, decisive, and have no time for small talk or beating around the bush. Their mantra could easily be, just get to the point. They are born problem solvers who thrive under pressure and are not afraid to take charge and make tough decisions. Their competitive nature means they are always aiming to win, and they often inspire action in others through their sheer force of will and confidence. However, this same drive and directness can be a double-edged sword. To others, especially those who are more sensitive, a red's communication style can come across as aggressive, impatient, and even arrogant. They can be poor listeners because they are already thinking 5 steps ahead, formulating a solution before the other person has even finished explaining the problem. Their focus on efficiency means they can overlook the feelings of others, seeing them as secondary to the goal at hand. Under stress, a red can become controlling and demanding, pushing their agenda without considering the team's morale. Erikson advises that when communicating with a red, you need to be direct, confident, and prepared. Stick to the facts, present your case logically, and show them how your idea will lead to tangible results. Avoid emotional arguments and unnecessary details, as this will only cause them to lose interest and respect. Next, the author introduces the sunny and optimistic yellow personality. Yellows are the social butterflies, the creative visionaries, and the life of the party. Like reds, they are extroverted, but their focus is on relationships rather than tasks. They are enthusiastic, charismatic, and incredibly persuasive. A yellow's energy is contagious. They love to brainstorm new ideas, inspire others with their grand visions, and build connections wherever they go. They thrive in collaborative environments where they can share their thoughts and engage in lively discussions. Their optimism is often a powerful motivating force, and they have a natural talent for making people feel included and excited about a project. They are the ones who remember everyone's name and always have a story to tell. On the flip side, a yellow's greatest strength can also be their greatest weakness. Their love for starting new things means they can struggle with follow-through. They are often disorganized, easily distracted by the next exciting idea, and may have trouble with details and deadlines. Since they are driven by emotion and relationships, they can be perceived as overly talkative and lacking in focus. They might overpromise and underdeliver, not out of malice, but because they get caught up in the excitement of the moment. Under pressure, a yellow can become scattered and lose track of their commitments. To communicate effectively with a yellow, Erikson suggests you should be friendly, positive, and allow them space to talk and share their ideas. Show enthusiasm for their vision, but gently guide the conversation back to practical steps and commitments. It's helpful to follow up with a written summary of what was agreed upon to ensure they don't forget the important details. From the extroverts, we then shift to the more introverted personalities, starting with the calm and steady green. Greens are the most common personality type, representing the bedrock of any team or family. They are introverted and relationship-oriented, making them the ultimate team players. Greens are calm, stable, and incredibly reliable. They value harmony and security above all else, and will go to great lengths to avoid conflict and maintain a peaceful environment. They are excellent listeners, showing genuine empathy and offering unwavering support to those around them. Unlike the fast-paced reds and yellows, greens prefer a slower, more deliberate pace. They are thoughtful and dependable, and you can always count on them to follow through on their commitments once they have made them. However, a green's desire for stability and aversion to conflict can hold them back. They are extremely resistant to change as it disrupts their sense of security. They can be indecisive, often struggling to make a choice for fear of upsetting someone or making the wrong move. Their reluctance to voice their own opinions can sometimes be misinterpreted as a lack of interest or conviction, when in reality, they are just trying to keep the peace. When put under pressure or faced with confrontation, a green is likely to shut down and become stubborn or passive-aggressive. Erikson's advice for interacting with a green is to be patient, kind, and supportive. Don't rush them into a decision. Instead, present changes in a gradual, non-threatening way, explaining the why behind them. Create a safe and secure environment for them to share their thoughts, and make sure to show them that you value their loyalty and hard work. Later in the book, we find that the author explores the final color, the analytical and precise blue. Blues are the introverted and task-oriented perfectionists. They are logical, methodical, and driven by data and accuracy. A blue personality needs to understand every detail before making a decision. They are the quality controllers, the analysts, and the fact-checkers of the world. They thrive on structure, order, and clear instructions. A blue's workspace is likely to be impeccably organized, and their work will be thorough and of the highest quality. They are cautious and reserved, preferring to observe and analyze a situation from a distance rather than jumping into the fray. Their critical thinking skills are second to none, and they excel at identifying potential risks and flaws in a plan. Of course, this meticulous nature has its downsides. A blue's quest for perfection can lead to analysis paralysis, where they get so bogged down in the details that they struggle to move forward. They can be perceived as cold, distant, and overly critical, as their focus is on facts and logic rather than feelings and relationships. Their need for information can make them seem pessimistic, as they are always pointing out what could go wrong. Under stress, a blue can become withdrawn and nitpicky, getting lost in minor details and losing sight of the bigger picture. When you need to communicate with a blue, Erikson emphasizes the importance of being prepared. Come with data, facts, and a well-thought-out plan. Give them time to process the information and don't expect an immediate decision. Answer their questions thoroughly and avoid being overly emotional or vague. Earning a blue's trust requires demonstrating your competence and attention to detail. After thoroughly detailing each of the four colors, the author delves into the complexities of how these different personalities interact with one another. This section is crucial because, in the real world, we rarely interact with people in isolation. Erikson explains that some color combinations are naturally harmonious, while others are prone to friction. For instance, the task-oriented reds and blues can often find common ground on projects as both value efficiency and results, though the red's speed might clash with the blue's need for detail. Similarly, the relationship-focused yellows and greens can get along well socially, with the yellow's enthusiasm drawing out the green's supportive nature. The real challenges arise when opposites interact. A direct, fast-paced red can easily overwhelm a calm, conflict-averse green, making the green feel pressured and stressed. The green, in turn, may see the red as a ruthless bully. Likewise, a creative, big-picture yellow might drive an analytical, detail-oriented blue crazy with their lack of structure and follow-through. The blue would view the yellow as flaky and irresponsible, while the yellow would find the blue to be a pessimistic nitpicker who stifles creativity. Erikson doesn't present these clashes as inevitable dead ends. Instead, he provides strategies for bridging these communication gaps. The key is adaptation. A red communicating with a green needs to slow down, be more patient, and show appreciation. A yellow talking to a blue should come prepared with more facts and a structured plan. It's not about changing who you are, but about adjusting your approach to meet the other person on their terms, fostering mutual respect and understanding. In the latter part of the book, Erikson explores how these personality types behave under stress and how to provide effective feedback. This is one of the most practical sections, as it addresses high-stakes situations we all face. When under pressure, our dominant traits become exaggerated. A confident red becomes a dictator. An optimistic yellow becomes a scattered mess. A stable green becomes stubbornly immobile. A logical blue becomes lost in obsessive detail. Recognizing these stress signals is the first step to de-escalating a tense situation. For example, if you see your blue colleague becoming withdrawn and overly critical, you know they are feeling overwhelmed. The solution isn't to push them harder, but to give them space and provide the clear information they need to feel in control again. Giving feedback is another area where understanding colors is vital. A red wants feedback that is direct and to the point. Tell them what they did wrong and how to fix it, and they'll respect you for it. A yellow, on the other hand, needs feedback to be delivered with a dose of praise and encouragement. A feedback sandwich, praise, then criticism, then more praise, works wonders. A green needs feedback to be delivered gently and privately, with a focus on support and reassurance. Public criticism is their worst nightmare. A blue appreciates feedback that is specific, objective, and backed by data. Vague comments will be dismissed. By tailoring your feedback to the recipient's color, you dramatically increase the chances that they will actually hear it, accept it, and act on it, rather than becoming defensive or shutting down. To bring everything together, here are the essential insights of the book in a nutshell. The fundamental takeaway from Surrounded by Idiots is a powerful shift in perspective. The people in our lives who frustrate us are not doing it on purpose. They are simply operating from a different behavioral framework. What seems like common sense to you is not common sense to everyone. By using the simple four-color model, dominant red, inspiring yellow, stable green, and analytical blue, we can move from judgment to understanding. The goal isn't to rigidly categorize everyone, but to have a tool that helps us appreciate diversity in communication and working styles. The real magic happens when we move beyond simply identifying the colors and start actively adapting our own behavior. The book is a call to action for self-awareness and flexibility. It teaches us that effective communication is a two-way street, and it's our responsibility to meet the other person halfway. If you want to influence a red, be direct. If you want to connect with a yellow, share their enthusiasm. If you want to earn the trust of a green, be patient and supportive. And if you want to convince a blue, bring your facts. By making these small adjustments, we can transform frustrating interactions into productive collaborations and build stronger, more empathetic relationships in every area of our lives. Ultimately, the book equips us with the knowledge to turn misunderstanding into connection, proving that with a little insight, we're not surrounded by idiots after all.